Hello everyone, and welcome back to another deck profile. Today we're looking at Crystrons. I've had them for quite a while before the whole Halky-Fibrax thing, or needlefiber. Sadly, needlefiber would have been very nice in this deck, and it was very nice for a while until all the other decks had to go and ruin it. I wish they didn't make it generic, but here we are. But anyways, yeah, let's just jump right into this. So to start with the monsters, I play 3 Crystron Zolfiner. Zolfiner, you probably could get away with playing 2, if I'm being honest, because all of his effects happen in the graveyard. So what you would do, he's your Foolish Burial target, by the way. What you would do is put him in the graveyard somehow, and then his effect would activate to discard a different Crystron to special summon himself, and then he essentially destroys himself and then brings out another Crystron from the deck. If there's one word I can describe Crystrons with, it really is convoluted, if I'm being honest. It's fun, and it's super complicated if you like those complicated decks to figure out like a puzzle, but it is convoluted. So next I play Smyger. So these are all the non-tuners that we play first. Smyger, they all have the same effect to destroy themselves on the field to bring out a tuner. But if I'm being honest, you don't really play them that way at all, except for Zolfiner to kill himself or destroy himself. They all have that first effect to destroy themselves to bring out a different Crystron from the deck. The smaller ones, except for Zolfiner, bring out specifically the tuners. But then they have the hard once per turns on each of their effects, so you can only activate one Smyger effect that turn and only once that turn. So they have and then they all have their graveyard effects. So Smyger banishes himself to bring out the trap card, and that's pretty much it. Then we have Thristfern. Again, they all have that first effect to destroy and then bring out a tuner. And then this one's unique effect is to banish from the graveyard to add a Crystron. He's the best one by far to get more stuff in your hand. Yeah, these guys are both level 3, which the levels do matter. Then we play only 2 of the turtle. The banishment effect on this one is to special summon a Crystron monster from your hand, which comes up often, but you only play it at 2 just in case you don't have that many Crystrons in your hand. And we play Rosenix. For the most part, I will say you pretty much have access to any of them at any time when you want, especially with Thristfern, and Zolfiner as well. They both kind of are able to fetch any of them pretty easily. So Rosenix's banishment effect is you banish him and then he summons a level 1 token to the field, just for some more level manipulation. And for the tuners, we play Crystron Citri, 3 of these. I'd say this is probably the best tuner. All the tuners have a quick effect where they, on your opponent's turn only, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard. Citri's specific one is special summon from the graveyard. It has its effects negated, and if you do, it immediately synchro summons one machine synchro monster using only that monster in this card. And the synchro materials are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. So one of the good ones is probably Crystron Rosenix. I mean, I'll show you the combos later with the extra deck. But yeah, they all do something slightly different than the tuners. So Rion, the level 3 one. Same thing, synchro summon during your opponent's turn to synchro summon a machine type monster. I believe he summons target one of your banished non-tuner monsters. So he fetches stuff from the banishment. They all kind of cycle, the three of them, the three tuners, and I only play one Quan. And the material is shuffled back into the deck for Rion. Then Quan, I believe, special summon one non-tuner from your hand. And the materials, I believe, go to the graveyard. Yes, they just go right to the graveyard from the hand. So they all kind of play into each other. But Quan being a level 1 gets you into less things, of course. Rion really helps with getting like level 9s. So you use Rion, Smiger, and Crystron to make a level 9, like Trishula, you know, things like that. Then I play, here's the non-Crystron cards, Scrap Recycler. This card is great. This is your normal summon. You really don't want to normal summon any of these, except for maybe the tuners occasionally, but this is your normal summon. When he's normal special summon, you can send one machine monster from your deck to the graveyard. So you can send any one of your non-tuners to banish them and get their effect. Usually the target I like for this is Zulfiner to get him into the graveyard if you don't have Foolish, or you can send Thristfern to get him into the graveyard, then banish, and then add any of the other ones. So, pretty good. Then we play the 3 Ice Jade, the level 7 tuner, Aerogene. This card is amazing. Like I said, if you play water decks, like, I know this is expensive at the moment. It's like probably almost $10 a piece, but you play it in so many water decks because it works so amazingly well, especially in this deck where if you have any of the non-tuners, pitch that to special summon, and then you get the token, and then you summon a level 10. Specifically in Crystron's, it is an amazing card because you get all your monsters in the graveyard to banish them pretty easily. Which I don't know how much I need to say about this, but basically it's a free level 10 by a discard. You can do Barone, you can do Changying, you can do the Ice Jade 10 Ymir. So there's a lot of options with this card. And especially our king in this deck is Changying. So here's our other normal summon, Genix Undyne. I find that you usually open with one of these. And even if you do, you have something for the next turn. Open up with probably first Undyne. I would resolve Undyne first because he is revolved around Genix Controller. So when this card is normal summon, you can send one water monster from your deck to the graveyard, and that could be any of the Crystrons. Again, same thing with Thristfern or Zulfiner. You want to get this card in the graveyard, and any of these ones in the graveyard, but you want to start with him. Then you add a Genix controller from your deck to your hand, which it's not bad. I mean, you can resolve it still with no Genix controller, but you can thin out your deck with that. And plus, this is a level 3 tuner. If you ever have an extra normal summon, this is nice to have. So in case you don't dead draw into it, if you have both of these in your hand, summon Undyne first to get the controller out of your deck so you don't dead draw into it. Anyways, yeah, that's it for the monsters. I know that it's a lot of monsters, but for the most part, you're just sending all of these guys. You're not summoning any of them like the normal way. You're not normal summoning them. They're all being discarded or something like that. You know, pitched from the deck. So we will go right into these spells and traps. I don't have a lot of them, but Monster Reborn, really solid card in here. It's helpful. Regeki. Foolish Burial Goods. Our target for this, of course, is Ice Barrier again. Ice Barrier is great, especially in this deck. We have a couple different level 5s and hires. Zulfiner and the Ice Jade card. Foolish Burial, again, same concept. You can honestly pitch any of the ones that you need. Zulfiner, again, you want to get them as fast as possible, and Thristfern. Just it's another free search. It works just like Ice Barrier. Then we have Burial from a Different Dimension. You probably don't have to play this. I find it helpful though, but occasionally not. I mean, you can kind of reset. I wish that it sent the monsters Yeah, it sends them back to the graveyard, so you get more searches again. So you can reset if you don't have any of them. You can put Crystron, you can put Smyger, and you can put, you know, these three back in the graveyard, and then do their effects all over again. So it's pretty nice to have. Only at 1 though. Don't need to play more than that. Because sometimes you do want a lot of banished cards, and I'll obviously show you why. Then for the trap cards, we play 3 Ice Barrier, of course. This card is amazing. The initial effect is great to set it as, I can't tell you how many games I've won because of Ice Barrier, because it does reduce an opponent's monsters to 0 and it negates their effects, and they're not really expecting it, honestly. Because it doesn't target, so it's really nice. And then obviously the banishment effect to search a level 5 or higher is great. And Crystron Impact. This card's great. Could target one of your banished Crystron monsters, special summon it, and if you do, if your opponent controls any face-up monsters, change their defense to 0. That part doesn't really come up that often, but during either player's turn, when a card or effect activated that targets a Crystron monster you control, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate that effect. So it's a solid card and easily searchable by Smyger. So yeah, that's it for the traps. We'll get into the extra deck here. We play 1 Trishula 0 Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Honestly, I have a big focus on the extra deck cards that banish. So, like for example, we have the big boy himself, Sword Soul, Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying. This card I cannot express to you. I'm honestly just thinking about even running 3 because it is just so amazing in here. There's so much regular banishment going on in this deck. And you have targets for Cheng Ying to protect himself, and Cheng Ying keeps banishing, and it's just really good. This deck already naturally banishes a lot. Ice Shade Ymir, another level 10. Great card to protect all your other ones, but if I'm being honest, this is 99% of the time what you're going to want. If you're going up against another banishment deck, this can protect that from banishment, so pretty helpful. If you get both of these on the field, I mean, it's pretty much GG. It's over. Then we have Crystron Phoenix. The Crystron monsters themselves, the synchros, are kind of awkward to bring out, and I think they did that on purpose, but they are strange. So you need to have a 1 tuner synchro monster and 1 or more non-tuner synchro monsters. So basically these 2 to bring out that card. It's not the easiest, I'll be honest, the level, but he does banish all spells and trap cards your opponent controls and in their graveyard. So it's pretty nutty if you get this card off. It's not easy though. Then Quarion Gandrax. He can target monsters your opponent controls or in their graveyard up to the number of synchro materials used for the synchro summon of this card. Banish them. He was Cheng Ying before Cheng Ying was Cheng Ying. So, except it's just on a summon. And I believe if either one of them are destroyed by battle or card effect, they can bring out a Crystron from the... You can target one other one other monster. And this guy targets 1 banished monster and special summons it. So, pretty nice. Then we have Trishula. Everyone knows what Trishula does. Banish up to 1 card each from your opponent's hand, field, or graveyard. Great card. Navy Dragon Mech. I'm still a little bit iffy. I'm playing around with this one right now. Maybe I'll keep it. Then we have White Over Whale. White Over Whale is amazing and pretty easy to make in this deck. It wipes the field of your opponent's attack position monsters, and it can attack twice, and it does piercing. And it protects, or it brings itself back if it's destroyed by banishing a card. So it's such a strong card for level 8. Now we have Dragite. This is our spell and trap negate. Great. This is Crystal Wing, Monster Negates, Powered Insectron. So what I like to do with this one, if you really have like a dead hand, you just have Citri or I guess Rion. You can bring out Rosenix on Citri's effect to make a level 6. Any way that you can make a level 6 essentially. And you know, Thrisvern with Rion, basically, to bring out Powered Insectron. If you don't know what this card does, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no damage for the turn that it's summoned. So it's basically an invincible wall, aside if they have like a banishment. I mean, that happens. It just can't be destroyed, so it gives you another turn to draw into something. So it's nice to have. Plus, it's a machine, so and there's not a lot of machines off that quick effect, which is also why I'm playing Navy Dragon Mech, because the Crystrons lock you into machines with their summon. I mean, they don't hard lock you into machines, but they lock you into machines with that specific summon. So if you only have machines, that leaves you with this, and then the two Crystron synchros, these two. Which he's pretty good. I mean, he special summons and he changes all face-up special summon monsters to defense position, so that's nice. And with Flame of Starboy. My Starboy's in here just because when you have weird levels or you end up not having a whole lot of tuners or the levels aren't matching up, or, you know, that's essentially what my Starboy is here for, just to be like, okay, well, my field didn't really work out well. I'm just going to summon this. And he helps. I mean, a lot of them are water, so it helps a lot. Boost them up. But yeah, that is it. Let me know what you guys thought. I have still a couple more decks to get through. See if you can guess them. Yeah, let me know what you guys would do differently in here. You know, some spicy tech, and we'll see you the next one.